You're muted, Colin.
I thought I unmuted. That's unfortunate. Anyway, as I was saying, every fairy tale has some sort of ending. Many thought this fairy tale would end in St. Louis, but as it turns out, this Phillies team is no fairy tale. This Phillies team is a reality. Here we are, Game 2 of the National League Division Series. Philadelphia Phillies, Atlanta Braves, baseball in Atlanta. Playoff baseball in Atlanta. What are your expectations for today's ball game?
Well, first of all, we need to find out if they're going to play.
It's true, right?
We are currently sitting in a rain delay. It's downpouring, it's thunder and lightning, and it's not supposed to end for a little bit until about 6 or 7, they were saying. So, is that concerning? A little, because you don't want to play Thursday and then travel into Philadelphia on Friday.
Now, this is a
So,
different situation, right? Because both teams are
yeah,
traveling. So it's not like there's
yes,
one going to hang out at their apartments for all day and another team's, on the road up late. They're both going to be traveling, which is not how it works in the regular season, obviously. So, it's really just a matter of do you want to see your team playing the full potential or your team playing with an eye open.
yes.
So it will be interesting to see how this all plays out, especially because it does not look like the rain would like to stop anytime soon.
No.
And it actually is only going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Ben, give me your scouting report on Mr. Wheeler.
Well, you look at Zach Wheeler from his last game, against whoever they played, the Cardinals, and he was dominant. Let me try and pull up his stats here, but Zach Wheeler he pitched his first playoff game. What was it? He pitched game 1
Pitched
against the
game 1,
Cardinals.
stat line. His stat line.
We got time.
He allowed 2 hits in 6 1/3 innings. He walked 1. He did hit 1, and he struck out 4. He didn't have the usual swing and miss stuff that he does, but oh my goodness, was he excellent! Tons of ground balls, a lot of high pop ups that did not get very far into the outfield or didn't even get to the outfield. And he was the sole reason the Phillies won that baseball game, because we know the Phillies team goes off energy and momentum, and if that game right there, if they don't have the lead if the Cardinals had a lead that was any more than 2, Phillies are not coming back from that.
Yeah, he really preserved that game. I feel like if going into that, the Phillies would have won 6-1 if they left Zach Wheeler in the game, and if Ranger Suarez's breaking ball was just 3 inches lower. But it was the best I think we've not the best, but it was one of the best we've ever seen Zach Wheeler, and it was his first playoff game. So he expects the same from him today against Atlanta. He's usually pretty good against Atlanta. Everything's different in the postseason, but we're gonna see what happens.
Now we also know that his routine could be a little bit off today, right?
Yes.
This game, we are doing an earlier pregame show today. This is scheduled to start at 4:35 Eastern Time. It is currently 3:06 p.m. Eastern Time. And the game, we really have no updates other than the fact that it will not start on time. That has been confirmed by MLB officials.
Yeah, what I was thinking is if they were to start on time, I wouldn't have started Zach Wheeler because you're wasting my hair is so bad right now. You're wasting a Wheeler start that you could have in Philadelphia. So I think they still pitch Wheeler because they're going to play this full game through now because that's what they want to do. But
Goes for Kyle Wright too.
Yes.
And because I know when we had that whole issue down in Nationals Park in Washington D.C., that was kind of a one-sided ship there, because you had the Nationals were in pretty much complete control of the situation, while this isn't the case this time, because both of these teams are throwing probably their best pitchers. We'll get into Wright more in a little bit, but I mean, he led the MLB in wins in the regular season with 21, which is ridiculous.
He did. But if they started this game on time is pitch Syndergaard, because you don't know what's going to happen with the Wheeler. Eflin isn't ready to start a full game, and Kyle Gibson should not be touching the baseball. So the only guy you have left is Noah
Right.
Syndergaard. Now, I would have thrown him out there, and I would have just gone with the flow. If you have a delay, you throw in something in the bullpen. You have Nick Nelson on the roster. I mean, it's not who you want to go to, but he's on the roster. So you got to make up of what you have. That's what I would have done if they were starting this game on time with delays, but they're not, and they're trying to not have delays, which is smart, and it's what they should be doing.
Right. Thanks, Ben. So to get into the pitching matchups that we mentioned earlier, you've got Zach Wheeler going for the Phillies in the regular season. Well, I mean, he was not much short of Brady. He's exactly what you would ask him for. He was 12-7 with a 2.82 ERA, struck out 163, while Kyle Wright was 21-5, which is pretty impressive there. 3.19 ERA, 174 strikeouts. And I said this before, the last time Wheeler pitched, and again, I'm going to say it again. Zach Wheeler, we know where to get from him. He's going to have a slider going very dirty, away from right-handed hitters. He has a high-velocity fastball. He can pump that upper 90s. We've seen him get 98, 99 in the last few weeks, and the adrenaline is only going to keep coming from here on out. So you've got him going for the Phillies. That is a very, very promising thing, especially now that we're back at the top of the rotation after yesterday's game. Before we get into all right, Ben, what was your thoughts? What are your thoughts on yesterday's game? Game 1 victory in Atlanta.
They absolutely stole that from Atlanta. That was an absolute steal of a win, and I love stealing wins from other teams. You start out. The Phillies got that 2-0 lead in the first inning. Ranger looks a little shaky in the first, but he's able to get out of his bases loaded jam. He does that again later in the game, and he's fired up. It was interesting with Suarez how it's hard to say he was good because he wasn't good, but he got out of pressure-packed situations, which is what really impressed me. But yesterday was such a big win for a couple reasons. But my biggest reason is now they go into they now definitely will have 2 games in Philadelphia. If they lose 1 game, and if they have now their 2 best pitchers going out there for the next 2 games, in Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, and they're going into Philadelphia. I mean, come on. We might actually have something going here. This win was that's why winning game 1 in this series was so big, because now they have 2 of their best guys going, and they're going back to Philadelphia. And if they lose 1 game, if they lose 1 Wheeler Nola game, it's fine because they're staying in Philadelphia for another game where they have another opportunity to win it at home. And the Phillies are pretty good at home. I think they have a good home record this season. I know they're very good on the road for some reason. Actually, they're not, but they've been good on the road. They have a better record at home. So, the Phillies, it's weird for me to say, but there might actually be something brewing here.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Now, we do have a question in the comments from Philly Jacks. Why not go Bailey Falter unless you're saving him for game 4, which is a very valid point. Bailey Falter, I'd like to see him pitch game 4. I think that is the event with the best possible outcome, given the way Kyle Gibson has pitched recently. What we've seen of Noah Syndergaard is not very promising. And the thing with Syndergaard is he has not thrown to many deep teams. Almost every start as a Philly, I believe all except 1, he pitched to teams who were under 500. And that's not even close to the teams that we're going to be seeing for however long the Phillies stay in this playoff run. And Bailey Falter has proven himself against teams like the Mets. He had to start against the Braves, right? He's pitching against these good teams. And the teams that are sub 500, it's not like a Noah Syndergaard 6 innings, 2 runs, 3 runs. It's a 6 scoreless innings. I want to strike you all out, and you're going to get 3 or 4 hits if you're lucky. So it's a very different situation between what we've seen from Bailey Falter and what we've seen from Noah Syndergaard. I think that the outcomes, while they are similar, the opponents is what's really making my mind shift towards Bailey Falter in this instance. Now, to focus on some Brave stuff here, Kyle Wright pitching, and usually I go into depth about the pitching matchup and what we're going to see from him, but I want to focus on one specific thing here, and that is his pitch use. So you're going to see a lot of curveballs from Mr. Wright. So 34.1% of pitches are curveballs, which is way more than, I shouldn't say way more, but it's a very significant amount more than his fastball. So we're going to see a lot of curveballs, so put them low and away to righties, and he used that he's a lot like Nola in the sense that he will use that to get outs. He will use that when he needs to get back into the count. He'll use that to lead off a hitter to change the eye level, change the sight after maybe you saw first fastball in your first at bat. So that he will use that for a ton of different situations. And it's sometimes hard to see a fastball coming, especially the way he uses that so regularly. Now, you're probably wondering, where has the fastball come into play here? And when it comes into play, which it does, it's not great, especially the four-seamer. Hitters are hitting 350 against the four-seam fastball, and he throws the sinker actually more than that four-seam, which for him has seemed to work. Now, the other thing that seemed to work for him in 2022 is the increased use in his changeup. Wright, as we've seen, has always been a solid major league pitcher. He went up and down from the minors and the majors a little bit earlier in his career. Now he's got himself a lock in the rotation, and I mean his record pretty much gives you anything you want to know. Because whenever you can get your team 21 wins on the mound, you're probably going to have a spot in the rotation, and we've seen that with Bailey Falter. The Phillies seem to be winning every time Bailey Falter is out there, and that just happened to be the common denominator. Whether that was a coincidence or not, it kept him in the rotation. Same thing here has happened for Wright. The one thing that I was looking at when I was watching some footage of him just a few minutes ago, actually, I was a little late on my notes today, was the increased use in his changeup in 2022. It was down very low, usually only one or two every 70, 75 pitches would be a changeup. But now that's way up. He's using it much more. And not only is he using it more, it's actually been a lot better for him, which has really led to a lot of success. And I said the same thing. I think I might have found my comparison here for Kyle Wright, and that is Aaron Nola, because I mentioned this in the game that Aaron Nola started in St. Louis. So
It's a good one.
Up for him is the get me over pitch. If that changeup is working, it's a very good pitch to keep hitters off balance, because then that's another thing that's keeping in the back of their mind, right? Oh, wait a minute, his changeup's pretty good today. What if he throws that? And I almost said Kyle Gibson. Kyle Wright has used that advantage.
Yes.
All right, so we will head on to our next segment here. Ben, what do you got for us?
Hold on.
Keys to the game.
Keys to the game.
Get our banner up. There we go.
Woo! Keys to the game. My key to the game is my key to the game. My key to the game. Just play good baseball. You saw it yesterday. The Phillies played great baseball. So they played a lot of small ball. They didn't hit a home run yesterday, and they scored 7 runs.
4 simple sacrifices.
Yes. If they want to beat the Braves, they have to keep doing that. And with how the elements of the game are going to be today, it's going to be rainy. It's going to be cold. I think there's some wind, thunderstorm. They have to just play good baseball like they did yesterday, play good defense. And the bullpen needs to keep doing what it's been doing and being shut down. Eflin obviously had the little miscue yesterday as he gave up the 3-run home run, which got us a little trembling, but he got the job done. So my key to the game is to play good baseball and to continue their success with good baseball like they did yesterday.
Yeah, and we all saw, everybody saw what happened to the teams that haven't played good baseball in the postseason, right? Yeah. Literally, they get stepped on. Take the Cardinals and Braves, the 2 teams you've played. Braves made an error yesterday, and they were awful with runners in scoring position. They got stepped on, not by a lot. If they got one of the, like, I don't know here, 9 maybe runners they left on base in, they would have won that game easily, right? 1 or 2 of those guys need to come in. That's an 8-7 Braves win. Go back to the Cardinals series now. The walks, the hit by pitches, like three I like to call them errors in the same inning, because technically they don't count as errors, but a ball that goes under your glove, just because you don't touch it doesn't mean it's not an error. That's an error on Nolan Arenado right there. He'll be the first one to tell you that it's an error.
It's unscored errors is a good way of saying it.
Right, unscored errors. It's a perfect way of putting it. That, and especially in a 3-game series, that ends the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Game 2.
You flash back. I'm going to cut you off here. You flash back to bad baseball in the postseason. I always look at the 2008 Tampa Bay Rays in the World Series against the Phillies. They played bad baseball. The Rays got stomped on in that series. You remember in Game 1, I mean, the Phillies that was a good game in Game 1. The Phillies got a couple of lucky home runs. They with the first inning home run. But you look at Game 3 in that 9th inning, they just threw the ball away. You remember the dude, I think it was Bruntlett, he stole second base. And they just threw the catcher threw that ball right past the second baseman in the center field. It was a horrible throw, and that gets Bruntlett to third base, and that's how the Phillies win the game off that Chooch walk-off. You remember in Game 5, they had that miscue on the bases where Utley got that dude out at home on the pump fake. He shouldn't have gone home. There was just lots of errors by the Rays that series, and that's what the Cardinals did in that Game 1, and just the Phillies cannot do that. And they've been good so far, been playing good baseball.
Right now, playoff teams will capitalize on that. And
yes,
you will see that, like I said earlier, the teams who do this, they will be ended. So my key to the game, it's a little bit similar, actually, in terms of just playing good baseball, getting guys in. And if you want to get guys in, you're going to need to get rid of Kyle Wright. This guy is disgusting. He is a very, very good pitcher. And after Max Fried's outing yesterday, where he only went 3 1/3 inning, you probably are going to want to see a Braves bullpen you're going to see a Braves bullpen that's depleted. And the question here is, how much will we see of it? And usually, the way the Braves bullpen is structured, you don't want to see that. Today, it's probably the opposite. Seeing the Braves bullpen early would be great, because they are tired. They had a lot of innings, and they had to eat a lot of unimportant innings. And that is the key there. So if you can get rid of Kyle Wright early, again, very good stuff. You're going to get curveball to the moon today if you see Kyle Wright in the bump. And the thing with that is you can't expect fastball, because if you expect a 4-seam fastball, you're not going to get many of those. And when you get them, you can probably rock them based on results from this past season, but getting them, they come at a premium.
You see that?
Cannot, no. See a
Lower
the brightness.
Oh, wait. What if I turn the brightness down? Will that do anything?
Usually does. That's off. There you go.
There you go.
Oh.
NLDS Game 3.
I'll
be there.
Right there.
Yes. I'll also be at Game 4. Maybe. See what happens.
Very
but nice. I just got the tickets from SeatGeek.
Yes.
Guess what?
Segment.
Yeah, here we go. SeatGeek. I just said that. And it's the best way to buy your tickets. All you got to do is go to SeatGeek.com or download the SeatGeek app. It takes a few clicks. Look up any team you want. Tickets are expensive. The Eagles are playing good. The postseason's here. The NHL literally started last night. The NBA is next week. The MLS playoffs are right around the corner. Actually, they're starting this weekend. It's the best time to be a sports fan, and it's a great time to get to a game. All you got to do, SeatGeek app, download it, or go to SeatGeek.com. Look up the team you want to go to. Look up the stadium or the team you want to see. Like, for instance, I looked up the Philadelphia Phillies, clicked on NLDS Game 3. I got the ticket. I looked at the green dots, not the red ones. Stay away from those. Those are the bad deals. The green deals, the green dots, you want to stay with those because those are the good deals. At checkout, You see a coupon code. You want to use code Philly Sports Report, and you will save $20 off your first purchase. It's a steal of a deal with the prices of tickets right now. You're gonna want to use this code again. Code Philly Sports Report. It's literally right there. You can't miss it for $20 off your first SeatGeek order.
Thank you, Ben. So, SeatGeek standout stats. Here they are. Ben, what are you going to gift me with this fine rainy afternoon?
My stat?
Your stat. Let's hear it.
My stat. The 2-run home run by Olsen yesterday, by Eflin, does not reflect Eflin's how good Eflin's being in the closer role. Making me very angry right now. Eflin, I feel like Eflin's been very good in that closer role. He's given up 2 hits, but he's been able to shut it down very quickly. Yesterday, obviously, he gave up a mistake, and Olsen hit it to literally dead center. I've never seen a ball go to such dead center field ever. I mean, that was dead center field. That's not going to be the Eflin you're going to see, and if it is, we have an issue. But I have full confidence in Zach Eflin that he's going to. That's not Eflin right now. He's going to turn it around, and he's going to play well. Another one I have is Seranthony Dominguez's line yesterday. Let me pull this up. Seranthony Dominguez, in his pregame interview today, said that I'm back and that he feels good. Dominguez's line yesterday with 2 innings, no earned runs, three strikeouts, and no walks. He was absolutely dominant yesterday. And you know what? Seranthony Dominguez is back, and he's back at the perfect time, and he's going to be a big role in this Phillies bullpen for the playoff round.
Yeah, he was perfect by definition, right, Ben?
Yeah.
No runners, 6 up, 6 down. Now, I do disagree with you on Eflin. I really haven't loved what I've seen from him in the closer role. Every time he comes in, he gets into a lot of jams, lots of base runners, and eventually it's going to come back to bite you. I mean, and these are not weak hits. I mean, we saw a double rip down the line right before Matt Olson's 3-run home run yesterday. I don't really think he's been good out of the closer's role. I think he's had a few good outings, but that sometimes gets shadowed. All those base runners he's allowed. I mean, it seems like there's two, 3.
He's allowed those base runners, but what's most important is he's able to get out of it. He doesn't even have to be in the closer role. You can throw him in like some sort of jam, and he looks like when he gets in a jam, he's able to get out of it. Obviously, yesterday he gave up the home run.
4 appearances. He's allowed runs in 2 of his 4 appearances.
He has? I don't think he let up a run in the 9th inning the other day. Oh, wait, did he? Hold on.
He did.
You can tell it's been a long day.
Yes, he allowed a run in Game 1. It was a 6-3 final score. It was 6-2 in the top 9.
Oh, yeah.
In Houston, he got into a jam, and then he allowed.
I still think he's gonna turn. I still think he's gonna turn it around. You know
right.
what? You know what? Confidence in I'm the most unoptimistic person in sports you'll ever meet in your life, and you know what? Eflin, baby. How about it? Let's go.
Okay. All right. I actually have I've got 2 stats and 1 idea for you today. For my
Are you playing that?
What's that?
What's going on? Oh wait. There was the Castellanos catch is being played in the background of my computer, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought you were playing that.
No,
Continue.
No, I'm not playing anything on anything. I've got 2 statistics and 1 idea here. The 2 guys who I can see potentially having success against Kyle Wright, if he stays in the game, which hopefully he doesn't, is Bryson Stott and Kyle Schwarber, the 2 lefties. Statistic number 1.
9-1.
What's that?
The 1-9.
No, 2 guys. We got 2.
Yeah, I know you said one. I 1-9 because they're hitting 1 and 9 in the lineup.
Right. Yeah, you've got completely opposite ends there, but I think they could both have success. If you go to Bryson Stott, he is hitting .275 against the breaking ball, which we know Kyle Wright throws a breaking ball almost, I think actually above 40% of the time when you combine the curveball that he throws 34.1% of the time with the slider that he uses on occasion. We've seen that when he gets hung a breaking ball, Bryson Stott will pull that down the right field line, and that thing does not land. So a lot of his home runs have come this year. A lot of his base hits that he hits the hardest are just inside breaking balls he sits back on and pulls. And he has had trouble hitting the high fastball. So that's something to keep an eye out. Kyle Wright, I mean, it's hard to say whether a pitcher throws hard or not in this day and age. And you've got the Adam Wainwrights and the Anibal Sanchez's going out there throwing 88. And you've got the Ryan Helsley's, Camilo Dovals, who are going to go out there and throw 104. That's a complicated situation. So,
did you hear what the Braves are doing? Oh, you
No.
can continue. I thought you were done. Continue.
Right, he actually, which I find this a little bit odd, but he will mix in all of his pitches in pretty much any situation. So I'm not exactly sure where some of his pitch calls come from, but the one thing that I see with Stott here is that if he can get onto a fastball, Kyle Wright only pumps about 95, which I know I say 95, but that's about, it's 9 miles per hour slower than we've seen in very recent games, I'd say. Not even just past games, very recent games. So I do think that there is potential for a Bryson Stott hot streak coming. This is a great pitcher for him to start it on, especially after having, 3 days off in a row now? Yeah, 3 days off in a row.
Yes. So
okay. You're up.
During the rain delay, the Braves are opening the gates at 3:00. All alcoholic beverages, 50% off until first pitch. That's ridiculous. I wish I was in Atlanta right now, and I get. How much do you think the chicken tenders are? Probably $8. $4 chicken tenders. I mean, that's a freaking steal at a stadium.
Baseball in Atlanta, Georgia, dude. Come on.
Sure. 12. $6. Steal. Absolute steal.
So my last statistic before we wrap this show up, Kyle Schwarber, which, again, I'm a little bit surprised by this, but the pitch that he's hit the best this year actually is the fastball, because he's seen a lot of those up and in fastballs. He either hits a very long way or, it can be strike three once in a while. But when I'm looking here at his pitch tracking, which is all from StatCast, he's at a 236 against fastballs. His slugging percentage is at 522. And you do that off-speed pitch, 520. And I told you, fastball and changeup. The changeup's more a development in progress right now for Mr. Wright. While that fastball, the sinker's pretty good. It has a good amount of run for Wright. He'll get that, especially to conquer some of the lefties in the Phillies lineup, which is the Schwarbers, the Stotts, the Harpers, the Marshes. But with Schwarber going to a fastball or an off-speed pitch could be a poor decision. So, if this is something that the Phillies coaching staff noticed, if Kyle Schwarber, though he doesn't hit him well, if he can sit on those breaking balls, he's going to see a lot of those. Even though it's a right-handed pitcher pitching to someone on the left-hand side, he will see a lot of breaking balls.
Yes. Expect a Kyle Schwarber home run today.
Yeah, I could see that. We haven't had a postseason Schwarbomb just yet, but eventually one has to come. I mean, he's the National League home run king.
It's coming tomorrow.
Coming tomorrow?
Or not today, whatever.
I mean, I don't know. Tomorrow seems more likely at this point.
Honestly, yeah, today. Today is coming. They're going to play.
Okay. As long as Zach Wheeler pitches, I don't care when this game is played. Anytime, anywhere. Go find a Little League baseball field for all I care. I just would love to see that this Phillies team go back to Philadelphia with a 2-0 lead in the series. That is.
And then they have 2 games to win in Philadelphia with Nola going at least. I mean, I'm starting to cry thinking about it.
Well, no, you only need to win 1 game in Philadelphia at that point.
Yeah, exactly. You're going in with 2 games. You have 2 opportunities to win 1 game. It's the Phillies, and I'm probably going to mess it up, but you know what? This team's different.
Well, we will.
I'm going to end it there before I start going off.
We will have to wait and find out until I can't say 4:35 anymore, until today's ball game begins. Everybody,
Whenever they start.
before we wrap this up, I'm going to read you your starting lineups. Again, these are subject to change. I doubt they will change, but we are in the rain delay. For the Phillies, batting first is Kyle Schwarber. He'll be in left field. Rhys Hoskins is playing first base. He's batting second. JT Realmuto and Bryce Harper catching and DHing respectively. Nick Castellanos will bat fifth. Coming off a hot day yesterday, he'll be back out in right field. Hot both offensively and defensively. Alec Bohm at third base. He'll hit sixth. Brandon Marsh in center. Gene Segura at second base. Bryson Stott is batting ninth and playing shortstop. For Atlanta, you've got Acuna, Swanson, Olsen. That'll be right field, shortstop in first. Austin Riley, their big bat in that lineup. He's playing third base, batting fourth. Travis d'Arnaud, he'll catch and bat fifth. Michael Harris, the second. He's hitting sixth, playing center field. Orlando Arcia, Marcell Ozuna, and Eddie Rosario, finish out the order for Atlanta. Ben, you have anything to add? Closing remarks before we go.
You like the music?
No. I'd be lying if I told you that I did. That's chaos for me.
It added effect to the lineups. If you let me do I was gonna do my Dan Baker, dude. Playoff Dan Baker.
Woo! I'm excited for that right there.
I'm so hyped. I'm ready. Let's not play this game and put off in Philly.
Yeah, let's go back there with 2 wins under our belt. That is the best case scenario, especially after. And I wrote this. I can't remember if it was the preview or the recap that I wrote, the series preview or the game recap, and I said that it would be improbable, but pulling off a win and that's one of those games where I don't really care the situation, the scenarios, anything else that happens. That is a game where I need the win. And luckily, we got that win.
Well, Colin, I have a question for you.
All right.
Score prediction.
You're really going to make me go out with the potential on being wrong? Our last segment of the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Comment your predictions in the comments.
I got a Braves win today. I'm going to go 6-1.
6-1?
Yep.
They're blowing up Wheeler?
Partially. I think the bullpen's going to be a lot of it, too. 2 or 3 runs to Wheeler. 3 or 4 runs to the bullpen.
Tough to follow that up. It's not good. It's bad when Colin's been optimistic. But you know what? I'm so optimistic about this Phillies team right now. It's like scary. I've never been this optimistic about a team since the Eagles' 2017 Super Bowl. But you know what? The Phillies are winning this game today, B. Let's go. Phillies dub today. We'll say 2-1.
I hope you're right.
Another great Wheeler. Another great Wheeler outing. And I think Schwarber hits a home run. I think Harper hits a home run, and that's it for the offense. I think the Phillies win.
Well, I hope you're right. Everyone, I hope you enjoy this matinee performance in Atlanta coming up. Hopefully sooner than later. And if not, well, we will be back for a pregame show tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow all of our Twitters, which are in the description below. Check out the Bell Ringers podcast, which is filmed about once a week, for all of your Phillies news. And tune into today's game. And after, make sure you go to PhilliesSportsReports.com to read the post-game recap, which will be written by one of our Phillies analysts. And remember,
am I doing it?
Code Philly Sports Report. You are doing it, Ben. You should know that.
Woo!
Tough to know.
I forgot. I was about to ask you.
$10 off your first seat geek order. Enjoy the game, everyone.
Let's go, Phils!